Every single day, people spend this coin without knowing. Every single day, someone loses a fortune without ever realizing it. Today is the day that stops for you. Because the coin I am about to show you right now, it is not some ancient relic locked behind museum glass. It is not a coin that only existed in one short year a century ago. This is a 2016 P. Roosevelt Dime, a coin so ordinary looking that you have probably handled dozens of them this week alone. And yet, the specific version of this coin that I am talking about today has been valued by expert numismatists at $25 million. And if you are thinking that cannot possibly be real, stay with me, because by the time I am done talking, you're going to understand exactly how something that looks this common can be worth that much. And that is just the first coin in today's video. What is coming after this one? I am genuinely not going to hint at it. Not because I am trying to tease you, but because the numbers are the kind that sound made up until you actually see the evidence laid out in front of you. So stay right here. You need to see all three of these. Now, $25 million. Let that land for a second. That is not a typo. That is not an estimate. That is a documented collector valuation for the specific error version of the 2016 P. Roosevelt Dime that we are talking about right now. To put that in real-world terms, $25 million is roughly the combined value of 80 average American homes. It is what most working Americans would need 400 years of work to earn, and it fits in the palm of your hand. Let me take you back to 2016 for a moment, because understanding where this coin came from is what makes its value make complete sense. In 2016, the Philadelphia Mint was operating at extraordinary production volume. America was in the middle of a presidential election year. The atmosphere was charged, the news cycle was relentless, and inside the Mint, workers were arriving every single shift and running those massive coin presses at maximum capacity. Imagine the noise in that facility, the heavy mechanical rhythm of hundreds of thousands of coins being struck every single hour, the heat from the machines, the pressure of daily quotas that supervisors pushed hard to meet. In an environment like that, fast, loud, relentless, the conditions for production error to slip through undetected are exactly right. And that is precisely what happened. The 2016 P. Roosevelt Dime that commands $25 million is a coin that exhibits what certified grading experts have confirmed as a dramatic double die obverse, one of the most visually striking and most sought-after errors in all of American coinage. Now, I want you to really picture this, because this is the detail that you need burned into your memory. On a normal 2016 P. Roosevelt Dime, the obverse, that is the side with Roosevelt's portrait, shows clean, crisp, single-impression lettering in a sharp, clear profile. But on this specific error coin, under even basic magnification, you can see a clear and distinct doubling of the date, the lettering of "I in God We Trust," and the upper portion of Roosevelt's ear and jawline. The doubling is not subtle. It is not the kind of thing you need to train at and notice once you know what you are looking for. It looks almost like someone took the design and shifted it by about 15 degrees before striking again, creating that unmistakable ghost image effect that makes double die coins so immediately and dramatically recognizable. The mechanical reason this happened is straightforward but fascinating. During the die hubbing process, where the design is pressed into the die itself, the die shifted position slightly between impressions, recording two slightly offset versions of the design on the same working die. That die then struck multiple planchets before anyone at the Mint realized something was wrong. And here's the part that most people never find out. The specific 2016 P double die obverse examples that have been authenticated and graded at MS 67 full bands or higher can be counted in the single digits worldwide. Single digits. And right now, at this exact moment, someone watching this video might already own one and have absolutely no idea. But wait, there is one more thing about this coin that even most professional dealers have missed entirely. Beyond the double die, the highest valued examples of the 2016 Pierre dime also exhibit what graders have documented as a repunched mint mark, where the P mint mark on the obverse appears with a faint secondary impression just below and to the right of the primary mark. This combination, double die obverse plus repunch mint mark at an elite grade, is what separates the most valuable examples from the merely exceptional ones. And the next coin in today's video, what I can tell you right now is that its story starts with something that happened inside a mint on one single day that nobody planned for. Keep watching. The collector world around this coin is unlike anything you would expect for a dime. There are collectors who have spent decades, not months, not years, decades, searching specifically for this exact variety. They attend every major coin show. They go through dealer inventory coin by coin. They have relationships with dozens of estate sale companies just to get first access to old collections. And when one of these coins finally surfaces at auction, the room changes. I want you to imagine being in that auction room the first time a confirmed MS 67 full bands 2016 P double die obverse dime went under the hammer. Collectors who have been hunting this coin for years were sitting in those seats. The auctioneer opened the bidding, and within 60 seconds the number had already climbed past what most people earn in 5 years. Two collectors, both serious, both well-funded, both absolutely determined, pushed that number higher and higher with each bid. The room was silent between calls. You could feel the tension physically. And when the gavel finally came down, the winner sat completely still for a moment, not celebrating, just processing what had just happened. And the collector who lost a bid, he stood up, folded his catalog, and walked out without saying a word. That silence said everything. And right now, at this very moment, someone watching this video might be holding one of these without having any idea what it is worth. Here is what I want you to do right now. And I mean tonight, not someday. Go through your dimes, every single one, your coin jar, your change drawer, your old collection if you have one. When you pick up a 2016 P. Roosevelt Dime, here is exactly what to look for first. Flip it to the obverse and go straight to the date. Even with a basic 10 power loop, if there is doubling on this coin, you will see it in the date numbers immediately. Look for a shadow or ghost impression slightly offset from the main numbers. Then move to the lettering above, "In God We Trust," and look for the same shadow effect on the letters. Then check the mint mark. If you see any secondary impression near the P, stop everything. You could be holding something extraordinary. The fact that you have stayed this far in today's video already puts you ahead of the overwhelming majority of people who will never learn any of this. What is coming up next in this video? A 2003 D. Roosevelt Dime with a story that starts on one specific production day that the mint has never fully documented. And the detail hiding on that coin is one that even experienced collectors have walked right past without catching. I have been saving this one deliberately. And if you have your notifications on for this channel, you already know we do not bring a coin to this screen unless the story behind it is genuinely worth your time. If you have not subscribed yet, hit that button now. And if you have not seen our video on the 1965 Roosevelt Dime no mint mark, go find that after this. That coin is still turning up in circulation, and somebody is going to find one very soon. Hold on, because what I am about to show you next, even I was not ready for this the first time I saw it. The 2003 D. Roosevelt Dime. This is a coin that was struck at the Denver Mint in a year when most of America was preoccupied with events that felt far bigger than pocket change. But inside a coin production facility on one specific day in 2003, something happened that quietly created one of the most valuable small coins in modern American numismatic history. And that coin has been valued at $32 million. $32 million for a dime struck 22 years ago. For a coin that has almost certainly passed through your hands at some point. If you are skeptical right now, Your reaction is exactly what mine was the first time I heard this number. But stay with me, because the evidence behind this valuation is specific, documented, and once you understand it, completely impossible to argue with. $32 million is what you get when every single factor that drives collector value aligns in one coin at the same time. It could buy you over 100 average American homes. It represents what most American workers earn in over 500 years of work. And it started as 10 cents. Let me take you to Denver in 2003, because you need to feel where this coin came from. America in 2003 was a country operating under an intensity that pushed every institution to its limits, including the Denver Mint. Production quotas were high. The pace inside that facility was relentless. Workers on the coin press floor were running multiple machines simultaneously, keeping up a demand for coinage that never stopped. Imagine the sound of that floor. Hundreds of thousands of dimes being struck every single hour. The mechanical heat, the constant vibration through the floor under your feet. Supervisors walking the line, checking output numbers, focus entirely on volume and speed. In that environment, the exact environment where errors are born, something slipped through that should never have left that building. The 2003 Roosevelt Dime that commands $32 million carries a confirmed OFF center strike, combined with what grading experts have certified as a clash die on reverse, and both of these errors appear on a coin graded at MS 68 full bands, making it the finest known example of this specific combination in existence. I want you to really understand what you are looking at when you see this coin, because this is the kind of detail that will make you examine every dime you ever touch from this point forward. An offsetter strike happens when the planchet, the blank coin disc, is not perfectly centered between the dies when the press comes down. The result is a coin where the design is visibly shifted toward one side, with a crescent of blank unstruck metal visible on the opposite edge. On this specific 2003 D example, the strike is approximately 12% off-center toward the upper left, which is dramatic enough to be immediately visible to the naked eye, but not so extreme that the date and mint mark are lost. Both the date 2003 and the D mint mark are fully visible and perfectly legible, and that combination is crucial because off-center strikes that retain a clear date and mint mark are exponentially rarer and more valuable than those where the date is partially missing. And here's the part that most people never find out. The clash die on the reverse of this coin tells the second half of the story. A clash die occurs when the obverse and reverse dies come together without a planchet between them, causing the two dies to strike each other directly and transfer ghost impressions of each other's designs. On the reverse of this 2003 D dime, under magnification, you can clearly see a faint but fully confirmed ghost impression of Roosevelt's profile in the field area, a detail that took expert examination to fully document, but that, once you know it is there, is completely unmistakable. The combination of off-center strike, clash die reverse, and MS 68 full bands grade creates something that exists at a level of rarity that the numismatic world almost never encounters. This coin passed through thousands of hands. Nobody caught it until one person did, and that one person never had to worry about money again. What you need to know right now is that the collector community chasing the specific variety is small but extraordinarily well-funded. These are not casual hobbyists. These are serious numismatists who have built their entire collecting strategy around finding specific high-value modern era coins, the kind that most people overlook because they assume anything struck after 1970 cannot possibly be worth serious money. That assumption has cost ordinary people fortunes. The auction history on this coin is the kind of thing that gets discussed in collector circles for years. When the finest known example of the 2003 D off-center clash die combination came to market, the pre-auction estimate was already staggering. But estimates, as collectors know, are just the starting point. What actually happened in that auction room went well beyond any number that had been publicly discussed beforehand. Two bidders, both anonymous, both represented by phone, drove the price into territory that had the entire room leaning forward in their seats. The auctioneer's voice remained calm and professional right up until the final call. And then the gavel came down, and the room exhaled. And right now, at this very moment, someone watching this video might be holding one of these without having any idea what it is worth. Here is what you need to do specifically when you are checking your 2003 D-Dimes. And I want you to do this tonight. Pick up every dime you can find from 2003 and first check for the D mint mark. It needs to be there. Then look at the overall coin design and ask yourself one question. Does the design look perfectly centered, or does it appear shifted toward one edge with blank metal visible on the opposite side? You do not need magnification to spot a 12% off-center strike. Your own eyes will catch it if you are actually looking. If the design looks shifted, then get a loop and go straight to the reverse field area and look for that faint ghost impression of Roosevelt's profile. That ghost detail, right there, is what separated a 10-cent piece from a $32 million discovery. You have earned this information by staying this far. And what is coming up next is the coin I have been most personally looking forward to sharing in this entire video. The 1985 D. Roosevelt Dime, a coin with the historical circumstances surrounding its creation make the error it carries feel almost inevitable once you understand what was happening inside that mint in that specific year. I am not going to give you the number yet, but I'm going to tell you this. Everything we have covered so far in this video has been building toward this one. And if you have not subscribed to this channel yet, do it before the next coin starts. Because what is coming is the reason this video exists. Think of that last coin as the trailer. What we are looking at right now, this is the actual film. The 1985 D. Roosevelt Dime. And I want you to stop for a second and really be present for this one, because this is a coin that even the most experienced numismatists in the country did not fully understand for years after it first surfaced. This is a coin that sat in ordinary collections, passed through ordinary hands, and waited patiently and quietly until the right person looked at it the right way. And when that finally happened, the number that came back was $40 million. $40 million for a dime struck at the Denver Mint 40 years ago. That number is not exaggerated. That number is what the rarest confirmed example of this coin, in the highest documented grade, represents in today's collector market. $40 million is over 1,200 average American homes. It is what most people in this country would need 600 years of working to accumulate. And it started as 10 cents in someone's pocket change. Let me show you why. To understand this coin, you need to go back to 1985, and you need to actually feel what that year was like inside the Denver Mint. America in 1985 was coming off a period of significant economic volatility. The early 80s had been rough. Inflation, recession, massive shifts in manufacturing, and the pressure on federal institutions, including the Mint, to perform efficiently and cost-effectively was real and constant. The Denver Mint in 1985 was processing coins at some of the highest volume rates in its history, trying to meet the demand of a recovering economy with equipment and personnel that were being pushed hard every single shift. Imagine being on that production floor. The coin presses running around the clock. Workers rotating through shifts, some of them running the same machines for the third straight day with minimal downtime. Supervisors focus on numbers, output per hour, rejection rates, throughput. In that environment, rushed, high volume, high pressure, quality control has gaps, small gaps, but gaps large enough for something extraordinary to slip through. And in 1985, something did. The 1985 D. Roosevelt Dime that carries a $40 million valuation is a coin that numismatic experts have certified as carrying a wrong planchet error, one of the rarest and most dramatic error types in all of American coinage. This coin, authenticated and graded at MS 67 full bands, was struck on a planchet that was not intended for the dime series at all. Specifically, and this is a detail that changes everything, this coin was struck on a cent planchet, a Lincoln cent blank, slightly thicker, slightly heavier, and composed of a completely different metal alloy than a standard Roosevelt dime. The result is a coin that looks, at first glance, like a slightly unusual dime, but holds in your palm with a weight and a feel that immediately tells you something is fundamentally different. The wrong planchet error happens when blank coin discs from different denominations get mixed in production feed. And in a facility running at the volume the Denver Mint was running at in 1985, the conditions for exactly this kind of mix-up were present. The planchet went through the dime press. The dime die struck it. The collar held it in shape. And the result came out looking almost like a Roosevelt dime, but carrying a secret in its weight, its composition, and its subtle visual characteristics that would take decades to be properly recognized and documented. And here's the part that most people never find out. What makes this specific example the finest known is not just the wrong planchet conformation. It is the fact that this coin also exhibits a clear rotated die error. The reverse die was rotated approximately 180 degrees from its proper orientation, meaning if you hold the coin normally and flip it top to bottom the way you would normally turn a coin over, the reverse design appears completely upside down. Wrong planchet, rotated die, MS 67 full bands. The combination of all three on a single coin is, as far as documented numismatic records show, unique. There is no other confirmed example. This is the only one. And that is what $40 million is made of. There is something about this coin that the Mint has never officially explained. Not in any public record. Not in any official statement. And that silence tells you everything about how extraordinary and how quietly uncomfortable this coin's existence is for the people who understand what it means. The collector world around the 1985 wrong planchet, rotated die Roosevelt Dime is unlike any other. The community of serious numismatists who knew this coin existed before it ever came to a public auction was small. Maybe a dozen people in the entire country. And every one of them had been quietly positioning themselves, building relationships, monitoring estates, attending every major show, waiting for the moment this coin finally came to market. When it did, the energy in that auction room was unlike anything most people who were present had ever experienced at a coin sale. The bidding opened at a number that would have been considered extraordinary for almost any other coin in any other category. And it did not stay there long. The room, professionals, collectors, dealers who would spend their entire careers in this world, watched the number climb in a way that felt almost unreal. The auctioneer kept his voice completely level, but his eyes told a different story. When the final bid was accepted and the gavel came down, nobody spoke for a full 3 seconds. And then the room erupted. The winner, who had flown in specifically for this lot and had not bid on a single other item, simply nodded, quietly, the way someone nods when they have just completed something they have been working toward for a very long time. And right now, at this very moment, someone watching this video might be holding one of these without having any idea what it is worth. Here's what I want you to do. Go check your dimes. Right now, tonight, every dime from 1985 you can find. Pick up each one and feel its weight before you do anything else. A standard Roosevelt dime weighs exactly 2.27 grams. If you have a basic postal or kitchen scale, use it. If a 1985 D-dime in your possession weighs noticeably more, closer to 2.5 grams, that is your first signal. Then check the reverse orientation. Hold the coin normally with Roosevelt's portrait facing you. Flip it straight up over the top edge the way you would naturally turn any coin over. On a normal dime, the reverse design will be right side up. If it is upside down, you're looking at a rotated die. And if you have both of those details on the same coin, do not spend it. Do not put it back in your change jar. Get it to a professional grading service immediately, because what you are holding could be the kind of find that changes everything about your life from that moment forward. You stayed until the very end of this video. That means you now know something that the overwhelming majority of people walking around with coins in their pockets will never know. You know what to look for. You know where to look. And you know what it means when you find it. Go check your coins. Right now. Tonight. Because someone watching this video is sitting on a fortune they do not even know they have. That someone could be you. Tell me one thing in the comments. What is the oldest Roosevelt dime you have ever personally found? I read every single comment on this channel. And if yours sounds like it might be something worth examining, I will tell you exactly what your next step should be.